Good morning, everybody. It's December 20th here in Burlington, Vermont. About 9.5 hours if you drive as the crow flies, which I don't because I stick to roads. So around 11 hours yesterday on the road, a pretty amazing drive. Here's some of the things that I learned yesterday. One, always take the back roads. I didn't learn that yesterday, but it was reinforced once again. Specifically, if you're coming across from Canada out to the Maritimes, once you get to Vermont, head down to Montpelier, Vermont, and then take Highway 2 all the way across Vermont, the top of New Hampshire, and Maine, all the way to Bangor, Maine. And then you can take the I-95 up to the East Coast because it is one of the most beautiful rides. These old towns, the type with big, huge brick town halls with a big clock tower on top, and it seems like every one of them has a river, every one of them has a waterfall, every one of them has those like narrow main streets with the big shops on either side. Really breathtaking. And I didn't realize that I'd actually driven it before in the dark when I was hopelessly lost last time. But it's so worth it during the day. Take Highway 2 and always take the back roads. I stopped for a couple of shots and I shared them on Facebook. A few things that really took my breath away along the way, and that was only in the 6 hours of light that I had. A second thing I learned yesterday, even with all the really amazing stuff I saw yesterday, the things I remember most about yesterday, excuse me, is laughing. Because a long time ago I realized that music, as much as I love it on a drive like this, tends to actually make me tired, sort of lull me to sleep. So I started listening to comedy albums because these are people who spend their life on a stage with a microphone, which of course is what I hope to do. And you can learn so much about a turn of phrase, about timing, about how to reach out and try to connect with an audience by listening to these people hone their craft. And so besides that, it's funny. And so I would listen to comedy albums while I drive on long trips. And one of my heroes is George Carlin. And I bought his biography called Last Words. It was published after he died. And I thought I'd heard pretty much everything George Carlin ever did. But somehow I missed one called Jammin' in New York, which is an HBO special that he says in his autobiography is one of the best things, if not the best, that he ever did. So I got it for this trip. And I had to pull off twice yesterday while driving because I was laughing so hard. And even with all of in 11 hours on the road yesterday, the only things that really stick out strongly for me are the times that I was really laughing hard, despite the great scenery and all that time I spent. And so I think go out of your way every day to spend time with someone or to pay attention to something that you think will make you laugh, because it's the things that stuck most strongly with me. And I think that we have to sometimes go out of our way to include things in our lives. Otherwise, we can't just hope that they'll pop in. So go out of your way to find something that you think will make you laugh, or someone that you think will make you laugh. George Carlin, Jammin' in New York. Absolutely priceless. I'm going to listen to it first thing today as well. The other thing I learned is that usually, it takes all of 5 minutes to get across the American-Canadian border when you're driving a car, especially where I go, places like St. Stephen and Woodstock and Gananoque, not the big border crossings. And so, 5 minutes across, and you can save some time coming through the States and save a bunch of money on gas. Actually, that plan gets thrown off slightly once you've had your passport stamped recently by Middle Eastern countries. I thought things were going all great. You get to the border, it's all the same questions always, until you see him flip through the passport. And then he gets to page 20 whatever, and comes the question, what was the purpose of your recent trip to Jordan, sir? And sure enough, the car gets pulled off to the side. So my time saver coming through the States got thrown off a little bit off the top, just because, despite the fact I've crossed probably a dozen times before, as soon as that stamp to the Middle East came in, boom, things were much, much different. So he was a nice enough guy, though, and it wasn't a real big problem, but I found that really interesting that slowed things down. I'm heading to Kingston today, 4.5 hours, that's it. I'm going to pick up my friend Pam, so I'm going to have some company for the last little bit of the trip. She's at law school. Good luck on your last exam. Beautiful. And then I'm going to spend one night in Toronto. Alan, I'll be contacting you about a couch one more time, but I have a place to live in Toronto now. And I just wanted to say I loved the Q&A that I got to do at Mashrek in Jordan. I really did. And I realized that my presentation pretty much fills up whatever time I'm given. And that's just the way I am. But I'd love the opportunity to do more Q&As, and I'm going to try to find a way to do it. But one of the things I love to do is if you have questions and you see me speak, or you haven't seen me speak, or for whatever reason, if you have questions you wanted to ask about leadership, leadership theory, basically anything, I'm not afraid to say I don't know, so be prepared for that. But email them to drew@drewdudley.ca, DREW at DREWDUDLEY. And I'd love to use these video blogs and places that I stop to answer some questions, because I had to think about things and articulate ideas that I never had to think about or articulate before as a result of those questions, and I love them, and I love to have the opportunity to answer some more of them, because I think it makes me better. So if you have any questions, please, by all means, drop a line. I'd love to hear them. And I'll answer them in these video blogs. It looks as if the snow's still holding off. Overcast today. 4.5 hours to get to Kingston, and then Toronto for a day, and then on Wednesday, just a couple days before Christmas, Mom and Dad, I'm on my way home. Thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Hopefully Kingston's the next stop.